Well, we got rudely interrupted because I think I pressed a bunch of set and menu buttons and whatever by accident. When I was picking you up to try to turn the corner over here and show you something else. So we're not going any further around this deck on the left hand side when you face the house. And first off, you can see that the land is much higher up. Or maybe you can't see, but it is. We're like on the second floor, even though we're on the ground floor when we're on this side of the house. So, turn that corner. Let me show you what I got. Ugh. Yeah. Look at that. That's the wrong thing to turn. I don't know what that does, if anything. But let's zoom in on this. Oh, yeah. Yeah, complete hole. It's caved in. I don't know how much of the outside you can see of that, but everything's coming apart. Yep. That's a lot of damage. And there are carpenter hands because I see one right here. There it goes. He just hid. Yeah, that's not good. And see how far away from the wall it is? The gap that's opened up from where it fell. It's falling out and away from the wall of the house. There's a water spigot there though. It's probably the... Can't remember if that's the laundry or not. That might just be the kitchen. I think his dad said his garden used to be out the back of the house. This is the side of the house, and this is where I would have, I think, put it, judging by the sun so far today. I'm taking you through the house in slow stages because that's just how it's going to end up having to be. Move my backpack. There seem to be ants approaching. Not approaching my case. I don't want them in my truck. So, let's fold that up and put that away with the camera case. This is not what's normally in this backpack, but the camera goes in here, everything else comes out. This is my truck, sort of, the backpack of the truck. Everyone should have a second vehicle. It's mine. So, let's show you. There's a hot tub down there, once upon a time. I don't know what kind of color you're getting it in. Looks like it was blue on the inside and wood on the outside. But it was a lovely place once upon a time. Excuse me. But all this sweating has taken its toll. It's peaceful here though. Yes, in an earthquake you wouldn't want this place to fall. There's a billion screws sticking out from the ceiling up here. I mean, a billion. You wouldn't want that deck to collapse on you. Second all my little garbage here back into my backpack. And my soda can. I do smoke cigarettes. My soda can is my ashtray right now. Then it's gonna get stood up in the backpack so I can take it out of here. I'm a big one for if you pack it in, you pack it out. So any trash I brought up in here went out with me. Except for, of course, if you go potty in the woods, there's not a whole lot you can do about that. But you at least find the most furthest place away from where anybody might possibly ever have to walk. If they're looking around the property and walking around buildings or cutting through wood, centers of the property to go to another place, you don't want to do that. That's just not even polite. That's like totally rude. But town is like about, I don't know, greater than 22 miles after I get to another road or some other intersection where I turn onto another highway, which is probably 2 roads from here. So I don't know, it takes me about an hour or more. So it's not like if you gotta go, you're gonna make it there. It's not happening. So you gotta do like the birds and the bees and the bunnies and the trees. They go where they are. Those are some American beauty berries behind me. Go up onto this deck. Well, I'm going to sit here and hydrate. Try to cool down for a while. So, you can either let me talk or you can just look at this porch or try to angle you somewhere else here in a minute. Show you up here at the roof. It appears to be some kind of water drainage. I don't know what room upstairs that's coming from, but it's just dropping off right there. And you can see the porch, the back porch curves out. It goes on out like a balcony still. It must have been so lovely out here. I wish this wasn't this tore up. If it wasn't this tore up, it might be salvageable. But from what I'm looking at, this is a demo job. This is not salvageable at all. Because you can see even the support beams, they're rotted out. "18 years and they went." I don't know what to say about that. Their life expectancy just didn't make it. I'm kind of amazed by that. How bad it really, really is. And apparently, the last time that the tax adjuster was out here was in 2015, so that's been 4 years ago. And he said it was in poor quality then overall. Overall, the whole place was in poor quality. So you can just imagine that. An additional 4 years and probably nobody was here. Because it came out of probate in September of 2017, and it's been on the market, I guess maybe most of that time. This last listing was only on for about a third of a year or more. There's 150 some days or something, 170 days. I don't know. I'm sure I wrote it down somewhere, or I didn't. I probably just disregarded that particular piece of information. Let's save the link. That's about all I needed. So yeah, I'm sitting on a place that I'm not really sure is safe to sit, but gonna hydrate, gonna rest up, watch butterflies buzzing things around my head. Which happens to be a fly. Attracted by, I guess, sweat. Here's a plane. Maybe we'll see a plane. Just look off at the treetops off the deck for a minute. It's a lovely view out there. That's what I'm looking at mostly. You can see the chicken coop out there in the background. Guess it used to have that clear glassy stuff where you could kind of sort of see into it. Where they got more sunlight, so they laid more eggs. It's actually pretty cool. I liked that. It was a nice little setup at one time. I liked its coop. What it is doing there. I keep wanting to grab that can to take a drink out of because it's on that side of me. But I got the drink in the backpack. Get away from Kent Grant, or I'll whoop you. So we're looking at these storm clouds coming in. I got some butterfly buzzing me. You can see them now. It's got at least dark blue in the viewfinder. Look at the clouds. Wow. I still might drive home, who knows. I did do a bit of a bug out situation. I added to my bug out supplies. I always keep one tent in the truck, but since I had to go have the truck service the last time for them to change the motor oil, and they thought they were going to have to do some engine work, because they kept telling me it was leaking engine oil, and they had topped it off once, like, right after they had told me that crap. Said they, I had to put a little bit in it. But they weren't going to charge me for that. And, so 6 months later, about 2 weeks before I went in there, I stopped at an O'Reilly's and had them help me check my oil and put a little bit in it, and it took only 1/3 of a container of oil. So when I went in and told them, you know, that was all the oil that it took, and they were like, after they changed my oil, all of a sudden I didn't have any engine problems. I wasn't leaking any oil anymore. It never did leak. I never saw it leak anywhere. I tried to tell them that underneath the hood was dirty crap that was there while it's set on a lot someplace. I don't know where it's set. I don't know what happened to the owner. I don't know if they traded it in or wherever, got in a car accident, died, who knows. There was blood up around the top of the seat belt and by the on the driver's side near the head. I mean, it took me a long time before I noticed it, you know. And I think I was in their armor all in it, and that's when I finally noticed it. Kind of grossed me out, but I got it cleaned up. And then, so I guess it's set, and then it went through an auction. I mean, it was covered in thick dust. It must have set at least a year. Maybe it's set in an impound. I don't know, you know. Police station impound first. I don't know where it went after that truck. But I do know it had 2 owners, and the second guy was some kind of a contractor. Apparently working for himself. Because there's stuff that's like mounted in the back that was there for mounting an air compressor. You know, I think I found some stuff for drywall, some stuff for plumbing, little tiny, you know, pieces of objects. To let me know he was kind of doing a lot of different types of work, not just one kind. So he may have also been doing some painting if he had air compressor. So, might have been power washing and spray painting houses. So, anyways, it went from an auction to the car lot where I bought it at, and the car lot was kind of high on that vehicle for as messed up as it was, because I put almost into it by the time I was done. Well, and counting the first, maybe the first two, first year's insurance, let's say. I probably put another $5,000 into the $6,000 300 truck used. So I got about 10,000 something into that truck. Plus I just paid another 6 months full coverage. That's another 1,000. It's a lot of money in a truck. I'm watching my money go that I need to use to buy a homestead. I originally just wanted to spend like $2,000 on a used truck. You hear me? But because I could only look using the public transit bus system, I got stuck having to go to this little lot and get took like that instead of buying from a private owner, where I probably would have got a better deal. But it is what it is. I got a decent truck out of it. I'm not afraid to take it anywhere. But I definitely would advise anybody this. Take it to the dealer to get it fixed. You're less likely to get robbed. You're less likely to have people try to screw you up so that they can put mechanics lien against you and take your vehicle if you have a nice vehicle. 'Cause that's what they'll do. They'll keep trying to give you $1,000 and $2,000 bills. And they improperly installed my computer card so that it would constantly have the lights go on for, like, you know, the gas light kept coming on and stuff, or whatever it was, so that it wouldn't show my mileage and different things. They had turned it counterclockwise or something and installed it on purpose. You know they did, because they do that for a living. So when I took it to the dealer the first time, after I had good brakes, and then, you know, when I got it back from them, I didn't have any brakes at all, and they were trying to get me another 2,000 on it. And I was so mad out there on Friday night, so pissed off. That Monday morning, I was at the dealers as soon as they opened, and, you know, they fixed my brakes for me that day. Well, and actually they got the wrong parts, so they couldn't finish them that day. So they gave me a brand new this year's model car to drive home, and told me just to use it like normal, no charge, courtesy car. And I took it back the next day, and they had my truck ready. And they even put my new tags on it for me for nothing. They fixed a bunch of little courtesy things they fixed on the truck for free. They washed it. They put a missing lug nut on it, on one of the tires. You know, they went through it, and they also went through it and the list of everything that the other place had supposedly fixed, all the work they did. They went through it and rechecked all the work, because they knew I had told a lady what happened to me. The lady insisted that the dealers search it for me, reinspect everything, and they did. They wouldn't do it for me, but they did it for her. She put her foot down, buddy. They weren't going for that. She made them do it. But that made me like the dealers a whole lot more. And they were reasonable. You had my extra keys made there, and they were cheaper than another key place. They did it faster. They got better stuff. You know, they didn't make do with parts that didn't belong on your vehicle. You hear what I'm saying? Anyways, I left you all looking at clouds. I'm sorry. I'm just rambling. I'm so overheated. I like the sound of the little bird in the background. I'm still left here looking at these clouds. I could probably turn you, but no chance we're going to see any wildlife. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out how I can turn this so that I can see the image that's being shown. I noticed a little bird off over there somewhere. I can't see him. I don't think you want to just look at a bunch of nothingness greenness. There's not really, I mean... And I'm just talking, so there's really not a whole lot to see. Can't believe the damage that's out here, though. I should be scared to death to be sitting where I'm sitting. That's the truth. Get you back around here. Scooch up. Leave that mobile home for a little while. There's the truck. The property, walkway, road, whatever. Out that way. So am I cooled off yet? No. Did I almost drink this whole soda? Yes. Oh wow, you all. I put this camera somewhere where you can see me, but you know, it's kind of like this. I don't think I look so hot. Gonna break down and do a video of me before I left my apartment this morning to say, come on, let's go, but just go on another ride. But the thing was, man, I looked in this tiny little mirror I had. My face looked all puffy and swollen with edema. I looked all bumpy, weird places, and I decided, oh, no, I wasn't gonna show you that. I don't look like that all the time, and if you finally saw me for the first time and I looked like that, you'd think I was pretty gross. I'm not up for that. Pick a day when I don't have facial swelling from heart failure. Most people probably don't know what edema is. It's E-D-E-M-A. But that's that beer belly men get. They think they have a beer belly because the rest of their body looks spit except for their bellies are swollen. But really, they got heart failure and don't know it. It's poor circulation. It might not be heart failure in them, but it is poor circulation. I guess it could be other reasons for them to have poor circulation besides heart failure, but it still comes down to heart failure. You know, whatever it is, it's messing up your circulatory system, which means it's messing up your heart, which means your heart's not doing very well, which means it's heart failure. It's a circle. It may not be, though, the cause may not be a bad heart. It could just be low oxygen. You could live someplace that has so much hydrogen sulfide gas, that it affects your oxygen uptake in your lungs. It's called your gas exchange. And that's what happened to me, and why it disabled me due to heart and brain can fail, or any organ. All my organs are like failing because of the gas exchange. And so I was kind of hoping I'd get out someplace out here where there's not a lot of sewer gas, like a city that's having a notorious problem with it, like some of these major cities are, all throughout Tennessee, Georgia, a bunch of different states, up north even from here, all have problems. And they're dumping it in these rivers, and you go up these rivers and all you can smell is that rotten egg smell. And when it's stronger, it paralyzes your nasal, I don't know if it's an optic nerve, your nasal nerve, but it's a nerve, and you can't smell. So you can't smell the gases present, but there's more of it now. Yeah, when it's stronger, you can't smell it. You smell it when it's weaker. But even when you're smelling it and it's weaker, it's eating the mucous membranes inside your nasal cavities, your eyeballs, your throat, your tubes, your bronchial tubes, your esophagus, your lungs. It's getting into from there into your bloodstream and your entire circulatory system, and it's eating away stuff. And of course, it's also, you know, you got a huge blood supply in your digestive system, so it's doing damage to all the mucous membranes there as well. It's just like, it's like inhaling Roto-Rooter and wondering why you got heart damage or a circulatory problem. And I see that these carpenter ants really, really like where I spilled a little bit of 7-Up. They think that's the coolest thing. I've about talked you to death for 30 minutes, and I don't know if I care or not. It's way too hot for me to do much. I made it to the house. That's like twice as far as I can normally walk. Plus I walked around the house, and the house is kind of big. And I'm whooped again. I gotta recover. So this is my recovery period in this kind of heat. I don't know. Maybe healthy people would be having trouble. So it may not be because of my disability that I'm having trouble, but you know, it's not helping. But I'd say probably everybody would be having trouble today. Doing much. The bites I got the other night at home a couple weeks back are still itching when I'm sweaty. I'm still sleeping on the floor because of that, and I gotta do a video about some stuff that happened because of those bites and what I learned about it. And I was gonna show the bites, but being that you've never seen me, again, like the loss of my teeth, the swelling in my face making me look bad, I didn't want to show some ugly bites that were swollen red, and I mean they were like hugely inflamed on my legs. It looked like I had MRSA. It looked bad. And they were the teeny tiniest dots. Originally, like, you know, the end of an ink pen. That little circle part, the circle ball. That's how big the bites started as. But that's like a whole nother video story. I kind of don't really want to tell it, but I think I had an allergic reaction to the antibiotics. I'm allergic to penicillin, and it's a triple antibiotic. So I think at least 2 of them are penicillin based. And diphenylhydramine is an antihistamine, but it also makes your immune system back off. So with it making my immune system back off, it may have been allowing infection to spread under the skin as well. And so, you know, I may have been dealing with some MRSA too. So, it got big, ugly, and red, let me tell you. And you know, about the time I was ready to go to the doctor, you know, I started finding out, well, they couldn't tell you what kind of insect bite it really was. They couldn't tell you if it was MRSA or an insect bite. They really have no way of knowing. So even a doctor specialist can't tell you the difference. So it's like, you know, no wonder I didn't know the difference. They couldn't know either. So I did what was like basic treatment that would be the same for either one. Is, you know, keep it clean. Keep it clean. Keep the weeping one clean. Make sure all your bedding is clean. I was using antibacterial soap too. At one point it might be that I was messing up my immune system and drying my skin out too much. When you got a wound that's healing, you kind of want to keep it moist to dry. You know, the outside bandage is dry, but the bandage next to the skin needs to be moist. But when using like an antibiotic or an antihistamine, I don't know, I really don't want to do an occluded dressing. That's a dressing that's like, you know, covered. You want air to get to the wounds. So, otherwise you can sometimes drive some things deeper into your skin than they would normally have gone. So, we're coming up on that end point where this thing shuts off. Yeah, I think it just did. So I tell you Anna out, but I'm gone already.